Now we're getting Verloren versus Daigo. This is winners finals, the first match of winners finals. So let's analyze this match right here. Quick backstory to Daigo versus Verloren. Verloren seems to have a good track record against Daigo, I think. I've seen Daigo lose to many Cammy players in the past, and I think Verloren is one of those guys that keeps getting really good results against Daigo. I could be wrong on this, but I think that's the case, right? I think I have the lore, exactly. Anyways, let's take a look at the match and see what I have to say about it. It's really like... What's really interesting here, pay attention to the V-skill option of Cammy. V-skill 2 can go through the boom, right? But he doesn't go for that. This was the biggest surprise that I saw in this match. I thought for sure you're gonna go with V-skill 1, but he chose V-skill 2. So I'm not sure what's up with that, because it essentially means Daigo can just throw more booms. This was a great whip punish. Bam, like this was a crazy interruption. Like take a look at that. Like take a look at how preemptively he's done this hard kick right here. This would have normally whiffed. The only reason why this didn't whiff was because Daigo was approaching with his own hard kick. Bam, crush countered. Great punish right here. Lots of damage and corner control now. And Verloren is making the best out of this. Pay attention to what Daigo does here. So he jabs, then he sees the dive kick coming. He stands up to make it -4, to make... Wait, there's no way that's -4 for Daigo. Wait, is that why? Wait, why is that -4 for Daigo? No, it's +4. The frame data sometimes in this game, the way it's shown, it's really weird. I don't know why it showed -4 for a second, because this is clearly a plus situation for Daigo. So Daigo stands up to block the dive kick in order to get a punish right here. Jab into boom, that's a punish. Good tech from Daigo right here. Also pay attention to how Daigo blocks this, okay? This is not easy to do. Like, now he's holding down back. Daigo is worried at this point about a dive kick, right? That's why he's holding down back. He could technically... a lot of players would be walking forward at this point. But the dive kick is really scary. If you start walking forward right when Cammy goes for the dive kick, you're gonna get hit. So Daigo is waiting a long time before reacting to anything right here, because he's trying to cover the dive kick and the cross-up option at the same time. So take a look at that. Daigo is still holding down back. He's still holding down back. And now... he stands up and he presses forward right here. And that way he covered both dive kick and cross up. So this is not easy to do because it requires you to go against some muscle memory. Yo, Ito, thank you so much for the gifted sub, man. So yeah, but right here, he risks getting thrown. And this is something that he knows he cannot avoid right here. So he chooses to take the throw. Verloren is in a really good spot right here. He still has V-trigger active. Like, this is amazing. Like, take a look at how fast he reacted to that. Bam! He was ready for this. Damn. And yeah, this is classic Daigo, right? He blocked this, and now he's blocking low. Take a look at that, by the way. He pressed the jab just in case Verloren had delayed his attack. The jab would have come out, and he maybe would have done a sonic boom as well. Now he's walking backwards outside of the range, forcing Verloren to go in. And going in right here causes him to get hit by that jab. Jab, sonic boom, V-trigger activation into dead. Oh yeah. Bam. How did he have charge so fast after the standing hard kick? He immediately started charging after pressing the button.
Round 2.
It has nothing to do with hitbox. You can do that on a controller just fine. It just held back. The animation is very long for that. See, that's a mistake actually. So here, that's something. This is where Daigo made a mistake though, because he was holding down back right here. This puts him in a bad spot. Because like, now let's take a look at this situation. Oh, it actually puts him in a +1. Okay, so that was a +1 for Daigo. Interesting. So technically, he could have had a trade on that jab, but he was not willing to take that risk, and I don't blame him at all. Footsie battle, but then, man, like that jump-in button is so good of Cammy. But yeah, you'll see a lot of sonic booms here because, so yeah, earlier what you saw was Daigo taking the throw because he didn't want to take the. He was expecting to get hit by delayed buttons or something like that, right? Here he tried to cover the back throw and a delayed button, but instead he got shimmied, and because of that, Verloren was able to block this. It's not overhead, but the frame rate is worse if you block standing like that. That's why you want to block crouching. No, the frame rate is worse when you block the can strike crouching. So you want to stand up if possible. And right here again, he wasn't willing to charge or to do anything because he blocked it crouching again. This is a really intense. This is, by the way, this is a hitbox thing, right? Being able to, like, take a look at that. Daigo is holding down back right here. And then in one frame, he goes from down back to flash kick. And this is not something you can do on an arcade stick or a pad. If you want to go from a down to an up motion, you have to stand up. There's no way you can do that in one frame. So this is one of the very few advantages that hitbox gives you. And normally what would have happened here is Daigo would have had to stand up for one frame, and this attack of Cammy would have hit him if he had done that. So what you're seeing here is why Daigo plays hitbox with Guile, because you can anti-air this. And on an arcade stick, you actually can't do that. You can cross-cut flash kick on an arcade stick or a pad. That's not the problem. The problem is, if you're in a cross-cut situation, you need to delay the flash kick, right? And when you go from down to up kick, you have to stand up for a frame before the flash kick comes out, because you're pressing. There's no way to go from down on the lever, like the joystick unit, okay? If you're going from down to up, you have to go through the neutral pose first. And so you're going to be standing for a frame, and on that frame you're going to get hit before the flash kick comes out. And you can avoid that neutral frame if you have a hitbox. So yeah, so this is actually one of the ways to do that. So yeah, this anti-air right here, hitbox only. Perfect, like take a look at that. Daigo is trying to stay outside the range to safely throw booms, right? And then he goes in. The only time he's like, okay, I'm not gonna challenge with the booms here. I'm gonna be a little bit greedy and go for the hard kick. And that's the only time. That's the perfect time where Verloren presses a button. Very nice. And yeah, this is a Daigo Umi flash. Anti-air right there again. And this is once again, like, pay attention to. Let's take a look at the inputs here, okay? Just so you see that. So he goes from down back. And then in one frame, up forward kick. Actually, you won't even see that on the... because the neutral frame won't be shown, right? So you can't even see that. It will look the same on a pad or a stick, but it will not behave the same. So this is kind of clutch right here because Verloren is trying to get a hit confirmed from a Crouching Fierce. So he's trying to do Crouching Fierce and then cancel into CA. Pay attention to his inputs here as well. Oh, he actually did not buffer it. Interesting. I was expecting him to buffer that. This time around he did buffer it though. Wow, but wait a minute, why? Take a look at that. He gets hit here, he does a Fierce, and then take a look at his inputs. He's buffering a CA, right? Or something. He does a quarter circle forward, and then another quarter circle forward. I don't know what that heart kick was about. Wait a minute, CA is kick with Cammy, right? So I think what happened here is Verloren just had sloppy inputs. I think he tried to do, because he did a double quarter circle forward input, but he did the kick while he was pressing down. So he did the kick too early, and that's why he didn't get the cancel. He was going for a CA right there. So yeah, mistake. And this mistake is actually crucial because take a look at this. It would not have killed, but it would have been in Cammy CA gives Oki, and Daigo would die from a throw after that CA, right? So that's a major gamble that he missed out of that. So instead, Daigo, what he's gonna get here, and here you can see the Crouching Fierce cancel again. He's buffering the CA and only pressing kick if he sees the hit. And Daigo is in a good spot right here because now, like, the moment he pops, any Sonic Boom into V-Trigger activation is going to be guaranteed kill. And even if he doesn't get the kill, and pay attention to that medium punch. That medium punch was there to bait Verloren into thinking a Sonic Boom was coming. Bam. Right here. He wanted him to CA. Really clutch. Daigo's not willing to press any button. And there we go. This is what I'm talking about, right? Daigo was guessing he's gonna walk into that Sonic Boom and die, but it didn't happen. But it doesn't really matter. This is a guess for the game for him as well, and bam. So that was a really bad spot, and that only happened because he missed a confirm. Verloren was in a prime position to take that first match. Okay, so this is match number 2. Daigo is up 1-0. Winners finals of the CPT Online East Asia event. Let's take a look at what happens here. So yeah, lots of Sonic Booms. As I said earlier, there's no reason for Daigo to be scared of... that was a great anti-air, damn. There's no reason to be scared of anything because there's no V-skill. So as long as Cammy does not have any meter, she's at a certain range, there's no risk in throwing the boom. And yeah, just as the match against Tokido, pay attention to how Daigo decides to throw the boom at a range where if your opponent chooses to walk forward, you don't have the time to react to the boom and you'll get hit like that. But it's a risk as well. If you have a good, well-timed... What was that? If you have a well-timed jump right here, it can be curtains. I'm not sure what he tried to do there, honestly. I think he tried to, like, pay attention to his inputs. He did a back hard kick right here. You see that? But I think he did it too early because he was still... I think he did it too early. Right? And then he did a down back hard kick, and then he got a sweep instead of this forward hitting hard kick thing. What does her V skill 2 even do? Sometimes you'll see it. It's a weird spin kick thing. I don't even know how to describe it. Anyways, that mistake cost Daigo quite a lot because it cost him a major part of his life lead, and corner control is in Cammy's favor as well now. That's a great way to avoid that. Like the way Daigo avoided that was just continuously holding up back. And this trade right here was absolutely in Daigo's favor. This is 100% fine. He still has the life lead and he has all of the resources to take it back. And yeah, crush counter confirmed into CA. This is not easy to do, by the way. Easy game for Daigo. Yo, Ito, thank you so much for gifting Megaton Beef a sub to the channel. Really appreciate it. Pay attention to, by the way, pay attention to Daigo's different approach in this round, okay? This is what I'm talking about. The first round, he threw a lot of sonic booms because there was no meter to be worried about. It's actually a discussion point sometimes where people don't feel like the neutral game is that neutral because it's dependent on the bars, right? So Daigo now, his options are really different because now Verloren can react to a boom and go through them with an EX spiral error, right? So because of that, he's not willing to throw as many booms, only from really close up. See that? He's very hesitant here. And as a result, like it's giving, like Daigo is cornered now out of nowhere within 11 seconds, right? This was a guess on a boom, but it's also safe. So yeah, Daigo. That was this is something that happened in the CPT match that was not that nobody commented on. Like I think James Chen. And I don't actually recognize the other guy who commented, but they did not commentate on that for some reason. And I was like, what just happened here? Take a look at that. Cammy dashes under the throw attempt, it seems. Like, let me see that again. Let me see if I'm completely nuts here. Like, what just happened? Let's pay attention to that, okay? The jab whiffs of Cammy. Ito with the continuous gifted subs. Odin Stan, enjoy your sub, man. Appreciate it, my man. And now, like, pay attention to that. This is where Daigo inputs his throw, right? He should be in throw range at this point, but it's gonna take 5 frames for this throw to become active, right? This is the first frame, second frame, third frame, fourth frame.
When will we get I throw one fireball t-shirt?
This is the first active frame, right here. And it looks like she's in range. This is the second active frame, this is the third active frame. And this is where she dashes. But apparently, so this is the last active frame of the throw right here. I think she's just barely outside of the range. And because of that, it looks like she's dashing under it, which is not actually happening. But this looks so curious, right? Damage control. When will we get I throw one fireball t-shirt? Well, we have an emote now, at the very least, right? Thank you so much for your support, my man. Appreciate it. So yeah, let's continue this. This was an unfortunate sonic boom, a flash kick, I mean. He was guessing a dive kick was happening here, which did not happen, and because of it, he put himself into a bad spot. That was a great buffer. Okay, so for those who don't understand what buffers are, okay, this is a prime example of a great buffer, okay? You stand at a range where your attack would normally whiff, okay? So your attack only hits just in case your opponent happens to be pressing something, right? Actually, not here, but right here. So this is the range where a fierce attack of Cammy whiffs. But if your opponent happens to throw out a button, his hurt box gets extended. So this way you can sometimes get basically accidental whiff punishes, which is exactly what happens here. Daigo happens to throw out a punch, and what Verloren does is he presses the heart punch here, and then he inputs an EX spiral error. This EX spiral error will not come out if the hard punch whiffs, because you're going to be in a whiff animation, and while you're recovering from the hard punch, you cannot activate any special moves, right? But if you get this accidental whiff punish right here, then, well, which is a buffer, you automatically cancel into the spiral error because you hit your opponent, and so the cancel properties could trigger right here. Verloren pressed hard punch before Guile, by the way. Did they? Let me see. Did he do that? Let's take a look at that. Because that was not a reaction. It's just not enough time to react to this. Let's pay attention to the frames here, okay? No, Daigo pressed first. Daigo pressed, and then, so this is the first frame, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 frames after Daigo pressed his attack, Verloren pressed his own attack. But it doesn't matter. This was not a classic whiff punish. This wasn't something that he did on reaction. He just pressed the hard punch, and he knew the only way it connects if he gets a whiff punish there. How many frames are reactable? Now, this is a difficult question because it depends on a lot of different things. It's dependent on a lot of different things. Let's say 17 is doable. Maybe 16. Anything under that, normally no. Sometimes you can cheat your way to a reaction by paying attention to what happened right before the moment where you're trying to react to. Like, for example, when you hit a crouching medium kick of any character, if you see your opponent is walking backwards when you press the crouching medium kick, there's a high chance you're going to hit the crouching medium kick and your opponent is going to be standing, right? So stuff like that, it's difficult. I want to make a video on this topic because reaction speed is dependent on a lot of different things. So Ito, my man, thank you so much for another gifted sub. Ganondorf, enjoy your gifted sub, my man. This analysis is brought to you by Ito and his gifted subs. Very much appreciated. Anyways, let's move on. So this is a buffer, okay, what Verloren did right there. It's a good example of a buffer. Daigo is in a really good spot right here. By the way, Verloren does not want to get hit here with anything. Any regular hit can cost him the game, and he knows that, so what he's going to do here is just take the throw. This was a delay. Take a look at that, by the way. This was very subtle, but very important. Just in case, he wakes up with an EX can spike, Daigo just delays his jab just a couple of frames. Pay attention to that. So he walks a little bit back, just a tiny bit. And the reason why he's doing that is because he wants to make sure he's not in throw range. So this is the first frame where both of them are recovered. This is second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, 7, 8. On frame number 8, Daigo presses a button. And this is specifically designed in case his opponent chooses to either late tech or do EX can spike on wake up. It covers both options here, so he does a delayed jab. So you can barely tell if you don't count the frames right there. But this is like really subtle, a subtle difference. Right? It looks like he did it immediately, but he didn't. And that's on purpose. And because of that, he happened to catch him pressing buttons, by the way. So the delay was crucial right there. Like, just a subtle delay can mean that, like, that can be the difference between winning and losing a game right there. So many things covered just because you waited just a couple of frames. Okay, third match. Daigo's up 2-0 in winners finals of the CPT East Asia event. this will be the third game, so let's take a look at how this one goes. As I said, like, pay attention to that, right? At the start of the round, no meter available, so he throws a lot of booms. Boom, 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 boom. Nothing Verloren can do about this. Bam, he's getting absolutely crushed because he doesn't have the option to EX Spiral. This is quite interesting, like, pay attention to that. Actually quite interested why he chooses to... I think he's in sweep range, right? He could sweep right there, but he doesn't go for that. Instead, he throws a boom. And I'm not sure about that. Maybe he's not confident that the sweep will actually work. Anyways, he's in a plus 11 spot right here. Very plus. What happens is Verloren chooses to YOLO it on this one, and that's basically going to cost him... I'm not sure, is he dead? Not quite, but almost. And he does it again, because he doesn't want to be predictable. And that's really smart, right? This is what I mean by making sure you're not predictable. This is like, all of a sudden, Daigo is in a bad spot. But he still takes it with a crouching jab. But this could have been really bad for Daigo. The next opening would have been it, right? So think about that. And like, take a look at that. And now the second round, he's not willing to throw the booms anymore, because EX Spiral Error will go through the booms and give him Oki. That's not something Daigo is willing to take. He throws the boom here, then he baits it with a medium punch. Okay, fake fireballs, really important concept to learn. If you're gonna play a fireball character, this is something you'll have to learn at some point. Fake your opponent to thinking you're throwing a fireball, but you're not actually doing that. Daigo takes... This is a good moment to showcase how to use your EX gauge properly as well. Daigo chose to throw out a CA right here for multiple reasons. The biggest reason being he's up 1-0. So he has a lot of time to rebuild his meter, so he just chooses to go for it. Go for the damage, take the damage whenever you can, especially when you have the life lead. Like, obviously you're gonna have the life lead right now, but you have the round lead. The round lead is really what makes this CA good, because you can afford to take some time after this. And the more time you're taking, the more time you'll have to rebuild your EX gauge. This was a really, really smart CA, by the way. It gives Oki right here. Take a look at that. I'm not sure if this was because it's online, but this should have been reactable, honestly. But Verloren was not willing to do that. He loses a lot of V-gauge on this because he tried to go for a can strike. So this puts him in a bad spot. He didn't get the life lead. He's running out of meter. Daigo did not challenge properly. I'm really surprised about that. Pay attention to that. Daigo's in a plus 13 right here. And all he's doing here is jab. Right? I'm really curious why he did that. He didn't go for the flash kick for some reason. And once again, the buffer. The automatic whiff punish here. Press a hard punch, and then you do a quarter circle forward, kick, just in case this connects. And bam, you get an automatic whiff punish. Yeah, and that's it. 3-0 for Daigo. This was a really rough spot because Verloren kind of had to rush him down at the very end. Daigo knows that. He had so much resources to work with, right? So he just presses his hard punch and that's it. Yeah, duffed, exactly. So yeah, 3-0 for Daigo. This is how he got to grand finals of the tournament. Very much deserved. Very well played. So yeah, that was really good.